Okay, very quickly. I'm not going to do it right this very second. The next thing I'm going to do with my infrastructure server, which right now is the only thing turned on, and that had a predictable side effect of releasing about 2 gigs of memory as I'm watching the performance tab on Taskman as I'm doing all of this. I shut Kali down, I shut Win10 down, and my memory commitment dropped. There's 2 major components to bind. There's your name, daemon, config. And depending on how you're doing this, you'll choose different name, daemon, config files. The other one is your local zone database. So starting with the name, daemon, config. The name, daemon, config more or less points to the local zone database. So I've got a zone named for my bogus domain, tstc.local. .local flags it as not a real domain because there is no .local top-level domain in the domain name system. So I can do this. And now even if my DNS server gets on the wider net, no one's going to pay attention to a .local. So it is, even if I goof, I unsandbox, I air gap it, my ISP hears from this name server, nothing bad is going to happen. So it is a master that is an authoritative server. If you had this name server in a replication mode and it is a client of a master, then you would change that as well. I've tried to do some syntax highlighting here with Notepad++. The closest thing I could find, honestly, was my C-style syntax highlighting. When I show you this in VIM, it will look rather different. It's one of the things I like about VIM, is that it does syntax highlighting. So I've got my IN, making it an internet zone. I've got my matching braces, my squiggles. My file type, my file path is an absolute path. And of course, everything is ended with semicolons. The other piece of this puzzle, and it is something I'm going to have to change because I'm about to change a lot of this. This is from another test implementation I did, and it is no longer correct. You've got this origin keyword up at the top indicating the name of the zone. I've got a start of authority record for NS1 tstc.local. This first one is a serial number. These are refresh and expiration values. Then I have sort of the same thing down here. If I have my start of authority record, but not my NS record, I don't have everything I need. So I'm going to change this because my NS server is 2. Let's see, I'm actually going to leave this to 5, and I can add a couple more. Let's make this NFS 15,000 INA 68.1.3 Samba 192.168.1.3. So now this may be slightly different. I may have to change this just a little bit. I'm doing this more or less to document my plan for when I implement it. So I'll have my name server, my file servers, my my web and FTP servers, and I'm doing that, as I've mentioned in a previous video, because these 3 types of servers have very different roles, very different needs in terms of security. You might put your name server in the core of your network, but open to everything. You might put your file server, NFS and so on, but also in the core of your network, but locked down. You might put the web and FTP server, if they're out there for the purpose of serving web pages and files to the general public out in your DMZ. So I'm going to save this. Actually, one of the fun things I like about Notepad++ is my Save All option. Now, one of the other things I'm going to do, if I haven't already done it, that I like to do, is to install VMware tools into my into my guest OS so that I can copy and paste. It would be kind of annoying to have to retype this entire file from here to there. So I'll probably do that as part of my infrastructure build, and even part of my infrastructure build tomorrow. I don't need to do that with DHCP because DHCP is already running. But yeah, there's that. We will pick this up at a later date. Thank you.